by tear gas the way we always have.
But I'm like the perfect guy to be single because
creating ways for men to come together.
boom, we're here. We are here. We are here. We are here. If you're listening, rate, share, subscribe. If you're listening, you could also watch on BigMood TV. It's our YouTube channel. Give us a follow, a share, a like, all that. We want to connect with you. That's what we want to do. That's what we want to do. Yeah, we love doing this shit. We love doing this shit, you know? It's a vibe. You know? You don't have to have anything figured out, you know? I don't have to have anything figured out. Hold on one second. I am going to go live. But you can keep recording. We're going to keep talking. But I think I got a premise. But yeah, we're gonna go Instagram live. So if you're listening, that's what I'm setting up right now. There we go. So yeah, you don't have to have anything figured out right now. Just know you don't have to have anything figured out. Just trust your process, whatever that is. So the reason that's prevalent for me today, I've been on a journey, this journey of entrepreneurship, this journey of growth, personal development for years, and I feel grounded in success. I feel successful. Let's put it that way. I feel successful. I feel like I've transformed my life. I feel like I'm a good example of what's possible for people out there. And I want to be a good example of what's possible. That's really what it comes down to. Is being an example of what's possible. You know, but the journey moving forward with just taking steps forward all the time. Sometimes you're just like, fuck. What do I do next? What do I do next? You know? So I find myself in a cool place. What's up, Mandy? How you doing? I find myself in a cool place with my career where I just create things. We have the 14-week mastermind that starts in the first 2 weeks of April. If you know any men who want to come and commune with other men and be in a professional and personal development mastermind, it's a 14-week course. We're here. We're going to be gathering. Look, there's going to be a link in my bio in the next couple of days. I'll keep posting about it. What's up, Mandy? Mandy's the OG. Mandy's the OG. What up, the Black Culture Podcast? We should connect. But yeah, I've been doing it a minute. And I come to a point where I create a new thing. Some things bubble, some things don't. We have the mastermind coming. That's getting great traction. But I'm still in a place where I'm like, what do I want to do next? And my friend, oh, thank you, Mandy. My friend Steven, he did the podcast, Steven Canale. He said, Eric, you're the kind of person that it's never over. You're never done. You're never at the pinnacle. It's never enough. And I think with most successful people, that's the case. There's no finish line. So I think I'm deciding to go back to school to get my degree in psychology. I'm not going to be a therapist. I'm not going to be a social worker. I'm going to continue to do what I'm doing, but I just want a degree, you know? And I'm glad to be in a place where I can do that. Where I can go into study and continue to work my job and create my podcasts and do all the things that I like to do, because these are the things, this is what I do, and I can go to school and continue to learn. But the race is never over. The race is never won. This is not there's no finish line. Same thing. It's with recovery, with healing, with education, with self study, with self mastery. With self mastery, there's no finish line. There's no finish line, and that's the bit. That's what we're trying to do here. Is this art of cultivating self. This art of shaping and molding yourself into being someone you're proud of. That's the art. That's the path I'm on. Just keep sculpting and shaping, cutting away the dead ends, cutting away the sickness, the maladaptive behaviors, the toxic traits that aren't serving me, cutting them away, and continuing to refine this experience that I'm having. Self-mastery. The clip right there. That's a minute. Just kidding. Probably. That was pretty good. But yeah. Yeah, there's no finish line. So, but let's keep talking about the 14-week mastermind. So if you're listening and you know any men, it's going to be 14 weeks. It's going to be out of my book, 7 Steps to Setting Intention for Your Health, Wellness, and Mindset. I put that book out in 2017. Matt, were we working with you when I put? No. Did you know I put the book out? Yeah. So I put this book out years ago. Didn't try to sell it. I still don't try to sell it, because I'm almost a little embarrassed, because people think that I wrote a book, and I'm like, I'm not a writer. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not a writer. You know what I mean? Like, I even my memoir, I'm working with a co-author, so I'm not a writer. Like, that's not. I never want to like proclaim that I am a writer, because I'm definitely not. So when I put that first book out, I didn't try to sell it, and I didn't want people to buy it, like saying like, "Oh, I'm buying Eric's book. I'm going to read Eric's book." No, what it was, and what it is, and what it's more prevalent today than it was then, or just as prevalent. Actually, let me give you the origin behind the book. So I was in a deep depression. What did my life look like? My son was just born. I was a personal trainer. I was going to the gym. At 5 a.m., going to train clients, going to work out, going home, and then I couldn't get out of bed. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't do anything but sleep and work. I was so depressed. And I decided I wanted to go to outpatient treatment. I went to outpatient treatment, which I'm in again. I'm in outpatient treatment again. I'll explain why and explain like what's up with that. But I went to outpatient treatment for cognitive behavioral therapy. So that was 5 days a week. I went to group sessions. And then I went to individual therapy with my therapist, and then saw a doctor. Anyway, so it was cool. It was very helpful. The reason I went to that kind of therapy, cognitive behavioral therapy, is the study of thought patterns and cognitive patterning and behavior, cognitive functioning that affects the way you think about yourself, the way you perceive the world. That's what was wrong with me at that time. That's part of the thing that goes on with me, is my distortion of the way I think about the world. It's caused me a lot of harm sometimes, but there was certain things I just thought about myself that I believed to be true that just weren't true. They were just things that I've developed over time that were just things that were taught to me from traumatic experiences, things that I taught myself over years of repetition of like traumatizing myself, essentially. Anyway, so I did the CBT outpatient, and I'm in 12-step. And in 12-step, there's a morning and nightly inventory. So tied with the morning and nightly inventory, when you walk into this CBT facility, you walk in and they have you do an inventory. When you get in, they have you check off how you're feeling, how's your anxiety, and you go through like a checklist of like checking in on yourself, like every day. So I said, you know what? I need to create. I think this is important for everyone to be doing. And I'll go through the steps and explain as to why they're important. So I started cultivating this workbook on my own of my own inventory that we do to shift momentum and to set intention in every direction of our life. And that's what this whole mastermind is about. It's about living an intentional life, living life with precision. That self-mastery I'm talking about is when I wake up in the morning, the first step is waking up and tuning your nervous system. So when I wake up in the morning, I put my feet, maybe even before I put my feet on the ground, I do a breathing exercise. I check in with myself, check in with my body, check in with my heart, check in with my mind. Start exploring the next step. So the breathing exercise is the first step. The next step is to start practicing emotional intelligence. So when you're checking in with yourself, right now my dog's barking, so I'm feeling a little anxious about the travel tomorrow. Got a long flight. Checking in with myself before the day begins. You check in with yourself. Get grounded. Get in touch with your body. Get in touch with yourself. And then once you check in with yourself, the next step would be to decide who you be. Decide who you be. And who you be that's an important statement. Because when I wake up in the morning, I could have shitty sleep, but I get to choose who I be every day. And who you be is most important. This is a lot of Jessica. If Jessica's still on here, I love her for who she be. You know, who she be, and that's the entirety of her. How she shows up in the world. That's who you be. Who you show up as. How you perceive to others, but it's how you perceive yourself. So this third step is to choose who you're going to show up as today. And I say, I choose to show up in compassion. I choose to show up as a man of compassion. I choose to show up in ownership of my life, in ownership of me. Just it's nobody's fault today. I'm taking control of this day. So you choose who you be. Next is to choose what you do. Choose what you do. How you be intentional with how you spend your day. Be intentional with how you spend your day. So step 1, tune your nervous system. Step 2, emotional intelligence. Check in with your body. Step 3, who you be. Step 4, what are you doing? We set a 90 goal. It's a 90-day. It was a 90-day workbook. So we set a 90-day intention, and I don't even like to say goals anymore, because there's difference. I like to declare. I declare things at this point. It's like, no, this is going to happen, because goals. I fuck up goals all the time. You say you want to lose 50 pounds, you lose 50 pounds, you lose 30, and you quit. You give up. People blow their goals off all the time. But declarations, you speak life into it. So step 4, set your declaration. You set your doing intentions, what you're going to be doing for that day. Then you set your declaration that you're going to repeat that declaration every day. You're going to tell yourself, I'm going to make 10K every month for the next 3 months. I'm going to make 10K. I'm going to make 30K. I'm going to make 30K this quarter, 30K this quarter, 30K this quarter. And you keep declaring it every day. Keep declaring it every day. And then it goes into choosing how you spend your personal time, choosing to move your body, moving your body and nurturing personal relationships. So I want to be intentional with how I move my body. I want to wake up and say, this is going to be my training schedule for the day. I'm going to go on this run. I'm going to do jujitsu, whatever it is, choose that. Be intentional with that. Be directional, be intentional, and live life with precision. I want to function within the lines, right? I want to be wavy and flowy, but I also want to live my life with precision. So I choose to be intentional with how I spend my time, who I spend my time with, what I spend my time doing. And then so those are the first morning steps. You journal a little bit. The evening steps are you take an inventory of the day. You set your intentions, you set your declarations for the day, and then you ask yourself, how did I show up? Ask yourself, how did I show up? But was I inconsistent? Was I lying to myself? Did I break a promise to myself? Was I successful? Did you accomplish what what you intended on accomplishing that day? And you be constructive. Dylan and I spoke about it. There's a constant narrative in our minds at all times. And sometimes the narrative, you could be taking inventory of yourself and it cannot be productive. What I mean by that is you can say, I'm overweight. And you could be calling yourself a fat piece of shit. And you can be talking all the shit to yourself, which I do. I talk shit to myself. Not all the time, sometimes. But that's not productive. That's not productive feedback for yourself. It's not productive feedback for yourself. Productive feedback for yourself would be, my weight's getting away from me. What can I do to improve this? How does my body feel? My body doesn't feel great. How do I shift this? How do I improve this? Blah, blah, blah. Solution. Not beating yourself up. There's productive feedback, and then there's shitting on yourself. And we don't want that, which I don't want that. I don't want that. And we're going to go into the new program I'm in right now. But anyway, this 14-week intention mastermind is based around those seven steps that I mentioned. The 7 steps that I mentioned, but it's 2 weeks for each step. And we're gonna have some guest speakers. And it's gonna create community. It's gonna create community. Ultimately, we're gonna get on a call once a week as a group. We're gonna figure out how we want to utilize this intention in our daily lives that week. For those 2 weeks, how are we going to use this intention? Our square breathing, our breathing exercises, are we going to do them every day? Okay, we've done we've practiced some sort of meditation or mindfulness practice for a week. What has it improved? What hasn't improved? Why didn't I start? What's the resistance? Then I'll be coaching people along the road to say, hey, why aren't you participating in your own healing, in your own recovery, your own, you signed up. Why aren't you participating? Why aren't you showing up for yourself? And I get to coach men through that. So some people are going to come in with business intentions moving forward. Some people are going to come in with personal intentions, personal goals, personal declarations. And I'm going to coach people through that, through each step for 2 weeks. They'll be coached by me, and they'll be coached by Corey George, who has been on the podcast a number of times. He's a men's trauma specialist. So we'll have this 14-week mastermind of men coming together, supporting each other and living intentional lives, supporting each other and setting declarations and living life with precision, living life making all of our choices count. And I can't wait for it to start, because I have so much stuff coming up that I do need to be living my life with precision. I get to live my life very intentionally. Do I do anything for women? I don't do anything for women, but the Rooted Woman who is on here, you could look at my last. Oh, sorry, I'm responding to someone on the live. You can look up the Rooted Woman, WOMBAN, and she's doing some men's work, some women's work. And yeah, she'll DM you. Hopefully she sees this and she'll DM you, or you DM her. There she is. She's my partner. That's my lady. And she does this work. She does a lot of the similar work with women. But anyway, we'll be creating community, and we'll be trying to live our lives intentionally. We'll not try to. We will choose to. Self-mastery. Well, that water's delicious, dude. Why is water so good? Right? You ever drink water and you're like, this is like the best water I've ever had in my life? Yeah, dehydrated. But anyway, yeah, so that starts up in April. But I was in the CBT program really helped me, because there was some things I thought about myself that couldn't convince me that they weren't true. I just believed lies about myself. I believed lies about myself, and it was killing me, It was killing me. But anyway, I'm back in now I'm in a DBT program, which is Dialectical Behavioral Therapy. And what that is, it's like a westernized version of mindfulness techniques, shift with cognitive shifting with cognitive patterning, shifting with riding. They have phrases called riding the wave and breathing exercises, and it's more of a mindfulness approach to mental health. And it also goes into distorted thoughts as well. I'm not in a crisis right now, but I'm in a place where I'm going back to school. I'm starting new projects. I'm in a place to learn. And like when I'm in a season to learn, like let me lean in. And I go to therapy every week anyway, so I was like, no, I just added an extra day of therapy. That's all I really did. Now I see a DBT specialist, and I see and then we do groups together for the DBT group. So as I go through this, I'll be in this program for 6 months. So as I go through this process, I will keep you guys posted. I'm sure I'll have lots of stuff come up. What are we doing on time? 25. Cool. But yeah, we get to shift the way we think about things. I get to shift the way I think about things. There's a problem. My disease, I have a disease of perception. My brain lies to me. How many times have we said that on the podcast? And yours does too. That's people ask me like, what kind of podcast? This is encouragement, lifestyle, empowerment. But your brain lies to you. Don't always listen to your brain. Speak things out. Speak things through. My partner and I, we speak things through. We talk about a lot of stuff. We just talk a lot. We just talk a lot. And it's good. It's good to just communicate whatever. Just everything that's on your mind. Share it. Because there's a lot of noise up there. I was speaking at a gathering a couple weeks ago, and I was talking about prayer, audible prayer, praying out loud, as opposed to praying solely in your head. And to pray out loud is to tangibly separate your prayers and your thoughts. Separate your prayers from your thoughts. Now my prayers are over here and my thoughts are in here. And I'm going to separate them so they don't get muddied. And I'm going to declare them into the universe, declare them into the world. There's a whole different implication, whether you believe in prayer or not. There's a whole different implication when you're declaring it into the universe, as opposed to just like thinking, I think I can. No, say you can. You think you can? No, say you can. Bars. I've been dropping bars for a minute now. I've been doing this for a minute, son. Tell me not. I've been at it for a while, man. That was pretty good. My dog's barking and it's driving me fucking crazy. Good thing Matt will cut it out. Well, you think you can get it out? Beautiful. So yeah, I'm going to Nashville tomorrow to study under a wizard of an interventionist. See a RISE intervention model. It's a long, arduous process for the family and for me as the interventionist, but the success rate for this intervention modality is high. And I don't even know if I'm going to continue to do interventions as a primary service, but I love the fact that I can do that. That if someone says to me like, oh, so and so needs love and needs loving interruption, Eric, I can provide that or point you in the right direction. Because if I don't want to do it, I have plenty of people who I can refer you to who are lovely and who are wonderful and who will and can do it. But yeah, I'm going for the RISE intervention model workshop. So I'll be in Nashville for 5 days. So thanks, Matt, for showing up. I completely forgot we had a podcast today. But you know what? I showed up and the fucking place was set up. Matt was already in the house. I needed a minute. We started and I need to start over. Flustered. But yeah. The DBT thing. So when people hear outpatient, they're like, it's in the recovery community. People hear outpatient, they're like, oh, what's wrong? Like, is something wrong? And like, in my life, nothing's really wrong right now. If I ask if you ask me what if you can change anything in your life right now, what would it be? I would just make more money. But everything else is perfectly fine. And it's always going to be make more money because it just makes more comfortable. Because I literally have everything I can want. I have everything I can want. There's no restaurant I want to try. There's no pair of shoes that I have my eye on. There's nothing that excuse me. There's nothing in the world that I want besides to be successful and to be able to continue. My goal, my financial goals are to continue to make enough money to continue to create things that make me money that I'm happy doing. That's all I want, is to make enough money to continue to create things that are fun, that make money, that are enjoyable for me to do and serve a purpose for the community. So I want to get paid to curate things that are helpful and that I enjoy doing. Here's what everybody wants. I look thick right now. Jeez. Do I look fat in that video? No, my belly's hidden. Dang, I look thick in this. Anyway. But yeah, that's it. I love creating. I love creating things. This podcast is saving grace, man. You know, it teaches you got to be able to turn it on. You got to be able to turn it on. We got them pros. I was not professional for a minute. I got flustered. But anyway, self-mastery, man. Continuing to shape and mold yourself to who you want to be, who you deserve to be. That's why I'm in DBT. That's why I'm in this new therapy modality. Just continuing to shape and mold and form this being that I want to be proud of. So I want to be proud of myself, you know? Strong made simple. What's going on, brother? Just want to be somebody I'm proud of, right? Might not see what we all want. I want my parents to be proud of me, but I love being proud of me. I love being proud of myself. You know? I love being proud of myself. So we're going to wrap it up. If you're listening, rate, share, subscribe. What I want you to take away from this podcast is the race never ends. The marathon continues, as the Nipsey Hussle would say. There's no end to this game. My positive juju. Oh, hey, thank you, man. But yeah, the game's never over. Self-mastery. Continue to cultivate and create the person you want to be. You design that person. You're not a victim. You don't get to say, this is just who I am. No, you don't get to say that. You design yourself. So you're sculpting, you're removing, and you're trimming away the old of what doesn't work. Creating space for the new. And if that doesn't work, trim away with that. And just keep going. Keep going until you're comfortable in your skin. Say you're proud. You're doing work you're proud of. Making choices you're proud of. Anyway, rate, share, subscribe, hit that like button. We love you. Short podcast, but if you're interested in the men's 14-week mastermind, it's starting up in the next 2 weeks. So act fast. If you know any men who would be down for it, send them to my Instagram page, Eric_BigMood Coach, and you'll see all kinds of posts about it, and it'll be all up running in the next couple of days. So boom. Thank you. We love you. We're out of here. Peace.